Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to take 2 of the season wrap-up of The Boys Season 4. On the bright side, we've figured out everything we were going to say, unlike the writers, okay? This is actually a beneficial thing. We had a little dry run there without pressing the recording button so that we could figure everything out. We've done more work than the writers of Season 4 have done, and I, for one, am proud of that. Oh, so. Season 4. It has been a conflicting season, honestly, because I liked the ending, I liked the twist. There's a big Keikakudori moment at the end where Sister Sage comes out and goes, I knew everything that was gonna happen. The plan is perfectly in motion. Here you go, Homelander. I've done all the calculus. It worked out brilliantly. And I like that, because I like Keikakudori moments. I find them fun and cool, and they don't even necessarily need to make sense, and this one doesn't. But virtually everything else in this entire season, save for one episode, has been kind of awful.
And it's like, honestly, I wouldn't even try to say that, yeah, the season was tolerable. No, it seemed like a lot of filler that they wanted to do, give some new writers a chance to do something, but it all just kind of fell flat, except for one episode and 10% of the last episode. Because episode 7 was a mess. It's like, was there a couple of interesting things, like the shapeshifter? Yes, I enjoyed how they, take different forms. They have to peel off the skin of the previous person that they were, taking the place of. That I found really cool. What I didn't like is suddenly Huey technically being raped 20 times.
Well, I mean, he's used to it by now, I guess, so there's that. But it's too much of it was just wasted time, and they clearly didn't have a good plan going into this. The last episode in particular, and previous one, full of plot holes, just poorly timed events, frankly. The entire Frenchie being gay thing, that was a complete waste of time, which they could have used to set up the shapeshifter, because the big twist here is that there's a shapeshifter who pretends to be Starlight to infiltrate the presidential bunker in order to do an attempted assassination attempt, but really to get a recording of him saying, I was trying to kill the VP. And if they had used all of the, hour or so of Frenchie being gay and being like, I'm gonna go to jail now to pay for my sins, and I'm out again next episode. If they'd used that to set up the shapeshifter, it could actually have been a cool, oh, God moment. Because there's a point where Annie is acting, Starlight is acting a little bit weird, and she goes to the computer to delete the evidence on the VP, and she's off, and you're kind of hinting to the audience that something is weird, and then you give the giveaway with her eye blinky thing. If that had been the culmination of oh, Annie was actually abducted 3 episodes ago, that would have been cool. But no, instead we were talking about Frenchie having his little gay romantic spat thingy.
It's like there's so many things that could have been easily cut to build up a solid, storyline, and building off of the, the shapeshifter thing. It's like it would have been cool to see how they, found the shapeshifter, or, were they working with the 7 the entire time or something. But what I'll never understand is they keep changing up their own line of thinking when it comes to, oh, this is how strong Supes are, and then changing it to, oh, well, no, they're actually even stronger. Because with the shapeshifter, she's getting shot up like no tomorrow. She would look like a pincushion at this point. But then all it takes is Annie choking her out, and then she's dead.
I mean, the story has no consistency anymore whatsoever. I mean, hell, Starlight has been captured, right? And so she's locked up in a broken down, rotten apartment by a big steel chain. All right, okay, big steel chain. I could see that holding her until she pulls it off to the point of skinning her own hands. All right, kind of cool. but it's attached to rotting floorboards. Like, surely she could just pull it out, because it's only as strong as its foundation at that point. And the worst part is, too, then she breaks into the presidential bunker to save everybody. The bunker we had just seen being closed and barred from the inside by enormous blast doors. You telling me she couldn't break the chain, but she busted through the 15 centimeter thick blast doors? How did she get in there?
If I am remembering correctly, she technically wasn't in the bunker itself, but the long numerous passageways that lead to the bunker, but that would still be heavily guarded. And with the shapeshifter going in there as Annie already, you really think they would have let another Annie through? They wouldn't just be like, oh, sorry, we thought you left. Never mind. Here, come on in. It's like, no. That would have, alerted anybody, and no one on the outside knew that everyone in there was dead.
Oh yeah, and I'm just rechecking it right now. They brought him out through the front door there, and then because they're still in the presidential bunker, so she would still have needed to go through the entire White House, basically, or wherever they're keeping him, plus all the other security doors. Again, it's how did she even get there? How did she even know where to go, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because the shapeshifter told her about the assassination attempt, but even she didn't know where the bunker was.
I don't know. She seemed overly hostile, especially towards Huey, because she just expected him to know, oh, you should have knew that wasn't me from the beginning. And he was like, she looked exactly like you, down to the little mole between your legs, basically. And then she got pissed off because, he slept with, a clone of her, basically. And then he's like, oh, well, there are some things that I eventually picked up on because, you can't find shit for shit right away and blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, give the man a break. His dad just died. He thought his girlfriend is actually giving him some. It's like, I don't know. Leave him alone.
At least they kind of moved past that one relatively quickly, I guess, so that she's not angry for him being tricked.
Yeah.
But it's not even. Oh, what else was in this episode? Okay, so there's the octopus who is out of water in one scene, and then the Deep smashes her container because they're having a fight, and then she dies because now she's out of water again, despite being out of water previously. That's another plot hole, weird thing there. They couldn't figure out how to kill the Deep, despite having beaten him unconscious and bloody on the floor. And they're like, "Oh, we don't know how we don't know how we could kill the Deep. He's at our mercy. Like he's bleeding. Just keep punching him."
It's like,
hang on.
They can easily pull off his head, honestly. Again, like how I mentioned before, he's not like translucent, where translucent skin is made out of whatever, and it basically deflected bullets and all that. The Deep is just a fish, man. Just fillet him and he'll be dead.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Again, you're like, oh, we don't know how to kill the Deep. He has holes directly going into his body where his breathing organs are. I'm sure you could just grab him and tear or something. No. And the whole getting into the bunker thing, just a bunch of weird plot holes, as if they didn't quite know where they were taking all of this. And again, the fact that they just dumped the shapeshifter in there with no prelude, no build-up whatsoever. They even tried to forgive the vice president, Newman chick, out of nowhere. She's like, oh, I'm scared now. I never realized that Homelander was a bad dude or anything when I was setting up the assassination attempt on the US president. Touchy subject at the moment as well, by the way. Writers.
Yeah. It's like, I get Newman's line of thinking, kind of, because she's like, oh, Homelander threatened me. He threatened to kill my child and send me a piece of her body every year. It's like, yes, that would scare any mother, but you should have thought about that from the beginning. You knew you had a child that could have easily been exploited because, it's not like you keep it a secret that you're a mother. So that's bad thinking on her part.
Yeah, no, she knew all of this. She did it anyway because she was thirsty for power. And now the boys are about to forgive her for all of this. Like, yeah, we know you killed dozens of people and endangered the entirety of the United States for a coup, and you're basically the root of all evil here, but, you know, mercy or something. No. No, she's an enormous criminal. Not to mention even, what is she gonna help you with at this point? What, tell you that the Supes are behind this, planning this? Everybody already knows this. It's been on the television. Like, I feel like this is yet another event where the show is telling us that Vought should be super scared that somehow the boys are gonna leak their dirty details. They just executed dozens of people at Vought Tower in cold blood because they might have leverage on them. Nobody's confused about them being bad at this point. The show just kind of keeps trucking along regardless.
I don't know, man. It's all messy. But that was just a little bit of episode 7. Episode 8 is like, you know, another hodgepodge of mess, except for the last 10 minutes where, you know, the one solo good writer for Sister Sage actually got their time to actually show their actual talent in, you know, character writing. And, you know, gave us a little bit of hope for, actually no, hope's not the right word. A little bit of a ray of sunshine in the deep dark abyss that is shitty writing.
A little bit of a kekakadori. It's a cheap payoff, but at least it's a payoff, and there wasn't a lot of payoffs, as it feels like this entire season... Actually, you put it rather brilliantly in our rehearsal. All was one long cliffhanger leading up to the next season. Like, nothing mattered here. There was no point in this. They could have done this entire season in 2 episodes, practically.
Yeah. It's like they're just trying to scatter everyone into the wind because Homelander gave the Deep and I can't even say not so Black Noir, but Black Noir 2.0, basically a hit list to just kill whoever, whatever. And they're trying to find Ashley, killed the wrong Ashley, but she decided to run into Homelander's room, get a thing of Compound B, the good stuff, not the off-market shit, and, you know, injected herself with it. We don't know what powers she got. Her wig fell off because, you know, have to remind everybody that she pulls out her hair because of stress, and she was just screaming, and then we kind of left her there. I'm sure we'll see probably 3 episodes into season 5 what exactly she got. She'll just come out of nowhere and be like, oh, I saved you guys, you should thank me, and then go off somewhere else and then die. That's my guess.
Yeah, like even the Ryan subplot kind of... It's not... I don't even know how to put it. So, he's been going back and forth between Butcher. He finally somewhat chooses Butcher over Homelander. Then the CIA pushes him too far by going, hey kid, wanna kill your dad? And it's such a subtle way too.
They could have handled it a little more gracefully. I get it, time is of the essence. Hey kiddo, we gotta use you to kill your dad, but your dad's not such a good person. He killed a bunch of people, he raped your mother, and that's how you became a thing. Blah, 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 blah. And then Ryan's like, I need to at least think about this, can I go? And they're like, no, you can't. And he's like, but I wanna go. And they're like, no, Ryan, I love you, I raised you. After my grandkids died, you filled that black hole in my heart, blah, 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 blah. He pushes her a little too hard, broke her neck. He feels no remorse, and that's when Butcher was like, you know what, fuck this kid, I'm gonna kill all the Supes, and then that's how he went scorched earth.
Yeah.
And killed Newman. Just ripped her in half.
There's clearly some Homelander in Ryan, because he doesn't care that he killed the woman. He's like, oh yeah, you know, she was trying to trap me, I acted in self-defense. But now we're just kind of back to the beginning again, where Ryan isn't really in either camp. I mean, at least I guess we wrapped up the Newman thing by Butcher killing her, using his brand new chest hive parasite thingy. But even then, it just feels like yet another plotline poorly resolved. Like, Victoria Newman's rise to power made her one of the premier villains of the show, and now she's just dead, and she was trying to... The fact that she regretted everything and tried to turn herself over kind of ruins her character. Now she's not a good villain or a good hero. Now she's just dead, I guess.
I think they are continuing like the Newman plotline specifically with her daughter because she's being sent to the Red River orphanage where Victoria was raised, and there was some hints on what was going on there in Gen V, which season 2 is going to be coming out probably within the next year or so, before season 5 comes out. And I'm sure Arch is probably going to be like, okay, Lumi, we're going to watch this. Because technically it is added context to it that we're going to need, unfortunately.
It is certainly context. And we've got Soldier Boy back too for yet more context. I haven't the faintest clue what we're going to do with that plot line now, but...
What else happened? Oh yeah, at the very end, right before the credits, the boys, the group, they got their passports to try to go somewhere else, and then they get ambushed by bot agents, the 2 crazy people from Gen V, the chick that, takes control of your mind, and that one autistic dude that's kind of strong or whatever. And then that crazy psycho patient that tried to kill Annie, and then she kind of flew away because everyone remembers she was learning how to fly with her light or whatever.
Now she knows. The entire season just feels largely unnecessary, frankly. There's too much wasted time. They clearly didn't go into this with any kind of a solid plan. Or if they do have a plan, it's all intended to be solved in a wrap-up final season, which, see, on the one hand, that is a rationale, right? Okay, we're gonna put up all of these plot points, then we're gonna wrap it up in the final season. Okay. That still means you've made one just bad season, though. You've just filled time for an entire season. That's not actually very good television.
All we can do is wait, see what season 2 of Gen V brings us, and what, little sneak peeks and hints the showrunners are going to give us, because we all know they're not shy about that. They'll be like, hey, look here's our little plan, here's a little negative information, because they like giving us things via their YouTube channel for bots. So I guess keep an eye out for that, I guess.
I do wonder where they're gonna take this, because they ended the episode with basically backing down from the big dig. And they go like, we're gonna make America super again. Yeah, considering the prevailing political climate, I don't know if taking a shot at Maka is gonna be quite as good of an idea in 2 years' time, but we'll see.
Honestly, I think I would give them more credit if they had the balls to keep digging the way they are. Otherwise, I'll still call them pussies for backing off.